welcome to part 3 of Hasbro's Stargate. Today we're going to look at the last of the good guys, Lieutenant Kawalsky, a weapons expert, and one of Ra's henchmen, Horus, the palace guard. So Kawalsky in the movie is just kind of one of the generic soldiers that I believe had a history with O'Neill and goes with him to the Stargate and kind of roughs up Daniel at one point. Kind of understandably, because Daniel kind of nearly strands them on the other side of the Stargate. There's not really a whole lot to his character. I believe he carried through, played by another actor in the Stargate TV series, but I'm not as familiar with that. The card says he's a good-natured guy, highly trained, experienced military officer. He was the original commander of the Stargate team until Jack O'Neill took over. He doesn't mind being second command and accepts the colonel without question. Later, the friction between the two intensifies as Kawalsky discovers O'Neill's secret plans, which is, of course, the small nuke to blow up the Stargate. So Kawalsky comes with a shooting combat cannon, which is, of course, another gigantic spring-loaded launcher. So out of the package, Kawalsky is just a multicolored mess. Like, it's just got random paint applications, like why is the top of this pouch red and this one's green? And I think this is supposed to be some kind of like Stargate logo, because everybody's got one, or special, I don't know, maybe it's who knows what that's supposed to be. Likeness looks nothing like the actor in the movie. He's got very shiny boots though. He looks more like a combat photographer than he does a weapons expert with these multi-pouch jackets that they put him in. I think it's because of this kind of green scaling here where it looks like he's got like an LL Bean hunting jacket on or something. And of course he's got a extremely rubbery hat that the hat doesn't do much. They're just so oversized, these guys. Just they look silly with their slim little waists and their gigantic heads. The weapon expert decided to bring with him a neon green M60 that comes up to his shoulder. It's just enormous. This doesn't look like, if it was sourced from G.I. Joe, it must have been later G.I. Joe, where all the weapons were getting huge. And I just, you already were using a gray color for one of his weapons. Why not just do both instead of this super soaker? So there's our weapon expert armed. Looks absolutely ridiculous. Oh, he also comes with a gigantic backpack. He's got several grenades and an extremely tiny shovel compared to the character. It's more like a trowel. And of course his missile launcher with lime green missiles. I guess his is supposed to, he doesn't really have a choice. He's got to hold it like this. But the trigger is in the way for getting his hand actually through, so yeah. And here's our first bad guy, Horus, who in Egyptian mythology is represented as a falcon, just like the fancy morphing hats that they had in the movie. And he was a deity of war, so makes sense. He's a bad guy. He comes with a shooting eliminator cannon for his gigantic spring-loaded weapon. But more importantly, he actually does come with the staff that they use that fires the energy weapons. It's kind of an interpretation of what it looks like, but for this line so far, I'm saying that is close enough. The Horus guards live to service Ra. Some poor word choice in there. Good job, copywriter. As children, they're taken for their strength and beauty and taught to obey his every command, use their bodies as human shields of protection. They become stronger. They are made Ra's elite personal guards dedicated to protecting his evil rule. If he grows displeased with a guard, he is eliminated and another is prompted to take his place. These ruthless guards wear illusionary hawk masks to keep Ra's slaves kept in fear. I don't think they're really illusionary, they just fold up in the movie. And it's supposed to be a falcon. I almost forgot, Kawalsky's tiny accessory that he comes with is the dune buggy thing that was not in the movie, but they did include in the line, as that's another G.I. Joe backwash kind of thing. So here's Horus himself. I like the size of the helmet. It really is close to what it's like in the movie. I think it's, when I first saw it, I thought that maybe this would close over this silly little peeking hole that they included. Like, the whole thing about these guys in the movie is like they looked really cool and intimidating with these big helmets, and it wasn't until later you found out it was just a dude underneath there. You know, I think they put a lot more effort and intention into these guys just based off, like, there's actually quite a bit of detail molded into the helmet, which is removable. I don't know why he's a white guy. Pretty lame of them. Likeness-wise, it doesn't really matter since these guys are just kind of troops. Yeah, silly to put the thing in there, the little peak hole in there. But even his kind of loincloth thing is a whole separate piece. Yeah, I'd say so far the bad guys are kind of the star of this line. Horus's miniature is a sarcophagus, which in the movie is kind of a restorative chamber that keeps Ra young, and they bring Daniel back to life. It doesn't look like much like this. The general shape maybe, but that's about it. And his, of course, enormous bazooka launcher thing. Stupid, ugly. I have no interest in these at all, obviously. But he does include his staff, which is appropriate. They styled it more off of like a, well, on this side it looks like a trident. Like a staff of, or like the Eye of Ra kind of thing going on here. In the movie they were really cool looking, like they folded up and they opened when they shot energy beams out of them. But like I said, it's pretty close. He doesn't hold it terribly well. Kind of loosely in there, but yeah, there it goes. But yeah, neither hand is really suited to hold it terribly well. That wraps up part 3, which we looked at Lieutenant Kawalsky and Horus, the palace guard. Horus being the saving grace of this video, and it's kind of brought me back from completely regretting buying this line, since there are 3 more of the villains to look at, and all of the good guys I think are pretty lame, so I'm glad to be through with them. Now we have 3 more decent looking ones to look at, and the vehicles, so it'll be a bit of an upswing towards the end. Thanks for watching.